And we're back playing Symbaroum-ish kind of a game. The Forgotten Grove. Used to be the Lost Grove, but now it's just Forgotten One. And Tony couldn't be back with us, so we're here with Ambika and Miki and Tom to finish this. All right, last time we saw your characters, they were by a lake with some singing, half-naked, see-through gowns ladies dancing on the lake. Turns out they are some sort of female spirits that were very thankful for you that you saved one of their sisters, and they offered you to do something for you, something extraordinary, and they cured part of his addiction to, what was it?
Dream snuff.
Dream snuff. All right. So there you are. This village elder's body is just laying there on a rock at the shore of the lake. There's still this black ooze instead of blood that is coming from him and entering the lake. And the moment it enters, it just like clears up and even, I would say, sparkles. But no, there was this stupid movie that spoil that all for all of us. There's Ivan, who came with you there, the big, kind of not very bright fellow from the village. And this is where you are. Since you now reminded yourselves, your characters, of what your actual task is, what are you gonna proceed? How are you gonna proceed?
Well, let's get on the way, right? We're not there yet, correct?
You're not there yet. You are at the outskirts of the big forest, and you didn't actually resupply while you were at the village, so you may be relying on hunting or do something else about that.
They weren't really willing to resupply us.
I'm not sure if I was willing to resupply there.
Ornos, walking with an extra spring in his step, he seems light and free, as if he's been relieved of some great burden. But you notice that he hasn't thrown out his old stash of dream snuff. He continues down the path, whistling a merry tune to himself.
Well, that was a well-spent wish, apparently.
Since you are obviously looking forward to continuing on your way, happy, whistling, Ivan is standing there and he's like, but you said you're gonna help me recover the village elder's body. And as he says that, he's turning towards it.
Yeah. Shouldn't we do this after we clear this up?
I kind of give him a pat on the back. Oh, why do you need help with that, my friend? You seem quite strong enough to lift up this village elder and carry him to his resting place. Not certain what you need us for.
Okay. And he continues towards the rock where the body lays, and at first nothing happens, but as soon as he touches the body, those 5 beautiful dancing women who are dancing on the water, suddenly they like scream, and their faces become like distorted and ugly, and there's like fangs and teeth everywhere, and they become darker, and they turn into like these vicious spirits that lightningly fast approach this guy and start circling him. You see his face becomes pale, and he kind of faints. Right after that, they stop being this scary creatures. They turn to the 5 beautiful ladies, and seemingly without any care in the world, they just continue dancing on the lake. Ivan's body just remains there, unconscious. You can see him breathing, but he's like pale, and there's a little bit of probably vomit that came out of his mouth.
Well, I'm certain he'll be fine. Maybe we ought to prop him up against a tree to make sure he doesn't choke on his own vomit.
And maybe wipe it away a little bit. We're not that kind of people.
All right, so you do that, and I suppose you want to continue on your way through the forest.
Mhm.
Cool. Who amongst you would you say is your scout?
Well, I mean, my vigilant is crap, so even though I'm very sneaky, I'm not very good at noticing
I
things.
think we had the same problem last time, yeah. I think it doesn't really matter.
No, we're all the same in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I'll go. I guess I'll take the lead. I am not very perceptive, but at least there's some chance that anything that's at least in the open might not see me until I see it. So, Arno, drawing his parrying dagger and hunting sword, starts to sort of slowly move forward, um, keeping an eye out, but clearly distracted by something as he, you know, slinks off ahead of the others.
All right. And you said you're going to rely on hunting and foraging, right?
I suppose we need to.
Yeah.
Not that anyone has fucking bushcraft, but yeah.
So
Nope.
you're gonna. So you're all from civilized lands. Usually rely on local guides probably when you trek such treacherous terrains, but in this case you have to do the dirty job alone. And the first day this kind of slows you down. At least you're looking for probably a deer or something to bake and then make into rations for later. And as you do so, it's the first night at the campfire. You notice something really weird. The meat itself, as it was already cooked and cut down, it does shake a little. It starts shaking a little bit in the middle of the dinner.
I smack it with my sword. Faster than
Here
light.
that we're eating.
Yeah.
Arno immediately drops it. Oh, good lord, Prios, what is this? Is my food moving or am I hallucinating? I haven't taken dream snuff in over a day. I maybe it's withdrawal. Are the rest of you seeing this?
Worry not. I see it too. Well, maybe worry, but I see it too.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have anything to do with your withdrawal.
Well, I suppose I'll have to supplement my nutritional needs, and he reaches into his jacket and takes out his flask and throws back a couple chugs of that before kind of peering at the meat again and then poking it with the tip of his dagger.
Well, the meat does that a few more times. Then it stops.
Yeah, I won't eat that.
No. We should be looking for some other food, I think.
I suppose you've gathered some roots and root vegetables and that kind of stuff, although it's like February or something. But maybe tree bark or dried rations that you carry with you. Sorry, one thing. We hear an echo, and I suppose it's Tom. Tom, you have any headphones? You can.
Yeah.
Are they
Is
on
that
right
better
now?
now or
Let me see. Yeah, now I don't hear myself back. Cool. See, that type of food, like anything that you carry like this, with this like that is vegan, does not seem to be moving. So it's safe to say that it's good to eat.
All right. Yes. Well, then I'll, after taking another swig from my flask, rummage around for some of these roots and berries and rations and sort of with a irritated expression on my face, start chewing on this relatively more unpalatable food.
There's nothing more like a commotion throughout the night. Nothing else really interesting happens, and then you proceed on the next day, and you keep, wandering through these dank and very muddy forest. There doesn't seem to be a lot of snow, but the the ground is definitely slushy, and since there's no clear path that you're following, you are uh, slowly advancing to where you think that your destination is, according to this very ancient map. So you make very little way towards your goal throughout the next day, and once again you sit down around the campfire, straying away from any type of meat, I suppose.
Hell
Obviously.
yeah.
Sorry, Tom, what was that?
Obviously.
Obviously, all right. And then you've gathered more of the roots and berries that you can find, so that you can, at least have some sort of standard substance. But just as soon as it starts darkening, you do realize that not something, but like it's like the branches themselves are moving of some of the trees around you, not like next to you, but somewhat in the distance. And it's not like all the trees are moving, but apparently two of them are like moving, not swaying with the draft. What do you do?
Bartolome looks at the others two, slightly timid and waiting for one of them to act.
Arnold draws both of his swords and sort of takes a cautious step towards the tree. First dancing meat and now dancing trees. What is this place?
Is it only
at the tree?
Is it only one tree?
There's two trees, very relatively mid-sized for trees, like maybe 1.5 stories tall. But as Arn approaches them, you realize that both of those trees are dead trees. They're not like the live trees around them.
Oh, good.
Oh, and the
both-
meat is actually... Sorry, the meat is actually also dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
So undead trees and undead. He starts to sort of slowly circle around the tree, looking to see if there's any sign that something might be causing it to move.
There's no actual external reason for them to move, and you can see that they're still firmly rooted into the ground. It just seems odd that their trunks start creaking, but the trunks are not actually moving, but the branches are definitely moving and not with the draft. And all you hear is it's like dusk, and these creaking sounds are kind of creepy, and they seem to be it seems like a kid just learning to move its limbs, and they're kind of amazed by that, kind of like trying to see what they can do with it.
What sort of devilry is this? I think we should be away from here as quickly as possible. I don't like the looks of this.
They certainly can't follow us, right?
Are there roots still in the ground?
Yeah, they're firmly rooted.
Yeah, well, it looks like you're right. Doesn't seem like they could follow us, but I do suggest as well to get out of here, because this place is starting to get on my nerves.
Yes.
So you just found this cozy place to camp, and now you decided to leave it, right? And to be as far away from a few meters.
Well, no, not 2 meters. A few meters. Like, I don't know. We'll walk for a few minutes, I suppose, until they're out of sight, at least.
Start walking for a few, well, as soon as you get them out of sight, and maybe a little more just to be safe. And then you realize that on the other side of the forest, there's other dead trees. Like maybe there's like a dead tree 1 in 100 or something. But this is a very dense forest, so there are a lot of trees. So it takes you quite a while to actually find a place that you don't see any dead trees at all, and you don't hear any creaking, because little by little they seem to be like all starting to move and make this creaking sounds. So it will take you maybe a few good few hours to actually find such a good place, and that really kind of gets tiring. So can you all give me strong checks?
Mm-hmm. Hey, I should pass that.
I did too.
I failed.
As well, from the 2 days of trekking and camping into the open, you do realize that your wizard friend Bartolo is not really feeling that great at the moment. He really needed to get his sleep, and this additional search for a campfire place kind of takes its toll on him. Mechanically, you're not losing any toughness yet, but it seems that you start getting weary, and that might be an issue in the future if you don't find a proper sleeping place next night. But this night goes through, apart from the very faint creaking in the distance, goes pretty quietly, uneventful. And then on the next day, as you prepare your breakfast and to continue on your way, and you do realize that as you start and you pass by the nearest place where you saw dead trees, you realize that this dead tree, there's a huge hole in the ground.
Oh,
It does seem like there used to be roots in there, but now it's like a missing tree. Like,
Could we like find any tracks going from that spot?
yes, you see the tracks, they're clear. Of course, a big, huge dead tree leaves all of them. And you do realize that they are going like somewhat in your direction. They're a bit erratic, but generally go into your direction as well.
I know, moves closer to this hole in the ground, sort of, scuffs his foot at the edge of it, mutters, "Damnation. Bloody trees. Walking trees. Dancing me, dancing trees, walking trees. Place is madness."
Are you sure we want to go this way?
Well, we want to find this lost grove, don't we?
Why? Do you have another addiction you need cured or something?
Listen, my friend, listen. I've been chasing all sorts of tenuous leads for many years, trying to finally put an end to all this wandering about and scraping by. This could be our chance. This could be our chance to finally settle down and put an end to all of this aimless traipsing about. Don't you want that too, old man?
Old man? Me?
Who else?
All right. Well, I'm sorry. Excuse me. It's your sour demeanor that's put a few years on you, I suppose.
Well, it's clear that you're getting withdrawal symptoms now. I'm not sure if you're talking rationally or if it's the dream snuff talking to me. What do you think, Abinara?
Well, to be honest, we can't go another way, and I don't want to go back the way we came, to be honest. So I would prefer to continue and finish this grove.
See, she has the right idea. I'm not losing my mind. And for the record, I'm perfectly And he sort of, his hand twitches in the direction of his pouch of dream stuff, and he coughs and sniffs, perfectly in control of myself.
I sniff my nose. I see. Well, have it your way then.
But nothing's stopping you from turning back if you want to.
Yeah, on my own, indeed.
Well, precisely. So, two of us would like to move on, so make your choice. Well,
Well, I'll go along. It's fine.
So as you continue through the forest, wondering whether to leave your companions or not, you stumble upon this very gruesome picture. Seems to be like 3 of those dead trees that seem to be now moving and roaming the land. They're motionless at this moment. 2 of them seem to have fallen, like toppled off, and only one is standing. But they seem to have gathered around a very huge bear, and this bear seems to be pierced and with their branches, like their branches when they're like are broken off. They seem to be like spears that have gone through the bear. From the way you're standing, you don't really need to approach because you feel the smell. The smell is not like the rotten flesh that you'd find from a corpse. This seems to be a very fresh thing, like seems to have happened like last night.
did these things do this?
Well,
I
for
don't know.
sure is we're not alone here. It's good to know.
Doesn't look like they're just dancing anymore.
Oh, well, I'm starting to feel less and less at ease.
At this gruesome, awful sight, of course, I'm gonna ask all of you to give me a resolute checks.
Well,
Just made it.
It's only 9, and I got an 8. So hey,
It's 15 and I have 18.
Nice. So you all pass.
No.
Oh, you got an 18. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got an 18.
All right. So yeah, probably it's your earliest fear of these dancing trees that are now seen to be killing live prey. That it clouds your thoughts and gives you like a lot of more doubt than you used to have. It's like the shadow is spreading through your mind and wants to overtake your another word for mind. Anyways, roll me a d4 and get this as a temporary corruption, which I'll tell you when it goes away.
That's a 2.
All right. So yeah, your eyes seem to darken and you go paler than before.
This really isn't right. Yesterday, they were only dancing, and look what they're doing now. Bears are tremendous beasts. If they just stake a bear like this, I don't know. I really don't know if we should go any further. I mean, I'm sure I could set fire to all the trees, but I don't know if
now, well, no one's ever called me a coward, not to my face at least, but I'm starting to get the sense that pressing on is going to soon become hazardous to our health and general livelihood. Perhaps in a way that this alleged treasure that awaits us wouldn't really particularly be sufficient recompense. It's not as if one can buy one's life back if one winds up being ripped to shreds by these things. Perhaps it would be wise to reconsider our course of action, find some way around these creatures, or perhaps even turn back if it seems that that's not possible.
Well, I like that suggestion to find a way around them, if possible. I think we should at least try that.
Yes. Oh.
So you spend a few hours to look around to see where these creatures are, and is there like a certain congregation that they are going after, so that you can go around it. But they seem to be like all around the forest. So your conclusion would be like, if you really wanted to proceed, that means that you have to be as quiet as possible and just pass this mad forest unseen and unheard.
Well, I'm very quiet, but I suppose my friends are not quite so quiet.
I can be quiet.
I keep my eyes peeled for these creatures and just do my best to move very quietly and inobtrusively, sort of from time to time keeping an eye on my companions and kind of grabbing them and stopping them before they step on a fallen branch or make some sort of mistake that would make them catch something's attention. Just trying to help them to stay as quiet as they can, like leading them through the forest as slowly and quietly as I can manage. Yeah, clunk, clunk, clunk. Not much I can do for the giant armored Hulk, I suppose.
Well, probably you can help her by telling her, don't step on that branch and things like that. Even heard things. But Tom, can you actually go invisible, or you have other tricks up your sleeve?
I have a noticeable, but that's only level
one creature, right?
First level, so yeah, one creature's perception.
So at the sight of danger, you can disappear from the sight of one creature only. Is that so?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
All right.
Some kind of roll, I think.
So in that case, I'm gonna ask you all for a discreet check.
Mm.
Oh no,
Okay.
the dice may favor you tonight.
Yep.
That's a success.
Oh, we have 2 successes?
I don't.
Yeah, my discreet's pretty high.
I rolled an 18. Yeah. It's not good.
Well, we have 2 successes, so whatever Arno is doing to help you stay unnoticed and not make too much sound seems to be working. Tonight you seem to have to be able to find a nice place that you don't hear any creaking around. I believe you're going to set up watches this time. But you managed to find like a few boulders that are covered in moss. So they kind of give you roughly something to hide behind, like it's not entirely a structure, but at least you have like one big boulder behind you. You have another one to the left of you with a little gap between them, of course. And then there are a few others that are a bit too far away, but at least you have, let's say, both of your sides covered. At least giant trees, against giant trees at least. So yeah, how are you gonna set up watches?
Arno gives the mystic a kind of pat on the back and says, "You don't look so good. How about you take a rest while I take the first watch?"
I'll take the second.
Well, that's fine. Wake me up then for the last watch.
Yep, very well.
And night goes down. You don't light a fire, or maybe you do. Maybe you believe that trees, fire, trees. How do you want to do so?
Yeah, good question. I think what we would perhaps do is dig a pit and light a small fire, kind of like slowly build up some coals, and then kind of cover it to keep it hot, so that it, if we need to suddenly produce fire, then we'd be able to. But we're not creating a huge amount of smoke or flames that can be easily seen from far off.
Awesome. So you start your first watch. Your fellows go to sleep, and almost as soon as they do, they start turning in their beds. Both of them are having a dream, which is more like a nightmare. It seems to be like
I gotta roll resolute each night for that, actually, myself. Sorry.
At first, it's like series of sights. Like you see dead animals, and all of them are either spiked on some branches or on some or even on some rock formations. Like, but all of them, the thing between them that is the same is that they are spiked on something. Like in a what's the word for this? What am I looking for?
Impaled?
Yeah, they impaled as a sort of a ritual, like a ritual where their life has been given to something. There's always blood that is still spilling from them. And in your dreams, this is very bright and kind of pulsates. So you see these sights everywhere around the forest until it like kind of zooms out, and then you see a circle, like a druidic circle. And people are gathered over there. They're all wearing white robes, and they are bringing a lamb. Sorry, Ambika. Sorry, Makey. They're bringing a lamb, and they're putting it on an altar, and then they're cutting its throat, and there's like blood everywhere around the altar. And it seems like the shadow is slowly going back away from them. Like the forest is shadowy at first, but then it seems to be brightening a little bit. After that, they're bringing more lamb and goats, and little by little you see these people. They are no longer like wearing only those robes, but their clothing becomes more colorful, and they're bringing more and more livestock. And the shadow around the forest clears a little bit each time, but does not seem to be enough. So at some point they start bringing people to the altar and start sacrificing them. And then finally the shadow disappears from the land around them. And they seem to be doing this regularly, but always around the same time, always around this time of year.
Right. Whose idea was it to come here again?
I'll look away.
So you wake up from your nightmare, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Shivering all over. I go. I sit up and stare around a bit.
I don't know, you haven't had this dream yet. You're still on watch while your fella's waking up.
So while they're on watch, I kind of while I'm on watch and they're sleeping, my mind strays to my pouch of dream snuff a few more times. I'm actually gonna make myself a resolute roll because I'm sitting. Yeah, all right. Well, no one else is around to see me, and this fear of these tree creatures, and just I'm sitting there in the dark. I can just faintly feel the warmth of the fire pit nearby, staring into the woods and just seeing these trees all around me, their silhouettes stretching up into the sky. And I know that we found a safe place to camp, relatively at least, and none of them seem to be moving other than just swaying with the wind. But still, it makes me uneasy. Just this feeling of being suffocated, of these trees everywhere pressing in from me on all sides. And I figure, these river women, they've cured me. I'm better. I can just have a little bit and it'll be fine. It won't hurt me. I've got enough willpower now to hold off this addiction. So I take a little pinch of dream snuff and kind of tip my head back, and just then I hear the mystic wake up, and or was it? It was Abenara who woke up. Whatever the case, I hear them stirring and waking up, and I realize my turn to sleep is gone. Evening.
What do you mean evening? How can you be so calm? I just had one of the worst dreams ever.
As you can see, I'm not sleeping, and I haven't been dreaming. But I'm about to, I suppose. I think it's
Oh.
Abenar's turn. Can you go back to sleep? Go back to sleep. Everything's fine. It's Abenar's turn. And I give her a little push. Abenar, come on.
Mm-hmm. No. I'm there.
All right. Whoever goes back to sleep, if Bartolom can, that'd be good for him because he'll be able to get rid of this temporary corruption. But if you decide not to go to sleep, this temporary corruption will stay with you. But you seem to be having the same dream over and over again, Bartolom now, and Arno is still having it for the first time. This is like.
So I normally have nightmares, and normally I have to roll resolute to see if I can recover a point of toughness, but I haven't lost any toughness in the previous day. But I also made my resolute check, but so my normal nightmares don't bother me, but I suppose clearly this one still does.
Or it could be like your standard nightmare, so you just bear no heat. This recurring theme goes on and on through the night until maybe the last watch when Bartolome is up and finally rested. The both of you, then Arno and Abenara, you don't realize that, but as soon as the sun rises and it starts getting a little bit warmer and a little bit lighter, the dream doesn't end with the human sacrifices to you. The dream ends in a sequence that now the druid circle is empty. There are no people around it, and the shadow is going back. And it's there are vines and all types of vegetation that are taking over the druid circle and kind of breaking through all the stones. And there's these creatures that are half spirits, half material. They are flying through it and like cursing it, and every time they fly through, and it becomes darker and darker until in the end disappears. And you wake up with this creature just swirling, and then just comes towards your face with a at very high speed, and just before it hits you, it's the time to wake up.
I scream.
You okay there, Micah?
Yeah.
You woke up screaming while
Yeah.
during my watch. Horrible.
Oh, I thought that's my dream. Oh, I'm sorry. Oops.
Yeah, it's your dream.
No, it's your
but
dream.
My
Yeah.
watch. I was watching.
Oh.
So I
okay.
hurry over to you, and I'm like, "What's going on? Did you have that dream?"
Something flew in my face.
Well, that wasn't me.
I know that, old man. It was translucent. You're not there yet.
Well, don't worry, it wasn't me. I was fast asleep.
This place is cursed. We should continue as fast as we can.
But if this place is cursed, why do we continue?
I'm starting to wonder the same thing myself.
Isn't everything pointing towards going on? Shouldn't we pick up our stuff and go as fast as possible?
Well, if we turn around and go, then we'll have to make our way back through the forest again. Maybe we're nearly
Yeah.
there.
But we would be going away from this dreaded place that now we're still going towards it, and something's wrong. I can feel it.
Perhaps you're right.
But which one of you is like the intelligent one, like has a high cunning of at least 13?
That would be me, of course.
All right, so Tom, deep down inside, though, Bartholomew kind of realizes the meaning of the dream, which is fairly obvious, but you do realize that it's probably you stopping that ritual that is currently kind of causing this. It seems that the people have found a way through blood sacrifice to keep whatever evil is in this forest at bay, and they seem to have been doing this ritual every year so that it stays where it is. But yeah, you kind of cut that tradition, and now things around you are kind of your fault. Maybe this is why your character is kind of, feeling guilty a little bit, or I don't know. You tell us.
Feeling guilty? Not at all.
Oh,
they were
right.
going to slaughter that woman. No.
Who turned out not to be a woman at all.
Even if it's because of us that something evil has turned loose in this forest, those villagers could have told us what was going on, and we wouldn't have interfered with it. But they kept us out of it. It was their fault. They should have told us. So if we just leave now, it's their problem, right?
I'm not sure if I can follow your conclusion here. And I don't think it's wise to make it their fault verbally.
Why not? What do you suggest then?
Maybe they're listening in.
That would be horrible.
Well, but not really surprising.
So what do you suggest we do then?
Hurry the fuck up and then get out of here.
I know.
Yes, I think that turning back now, well, I think we should proceed, but proceed with caution. If things seem to be getting even worse, then yes, we should turn and we should go back. But going back now means that we need to make our way through these trees, which occupy the forest 2 days behind us. So, yes, I think we should move on.
You're blinded by the supposed treasure that we're going to find here.
Well, if it's not real, then why are all these things guarding it?
Who says they're guarding a treasure? Maybe they just want lives. Maybe they're just after blood. I've read about these things.
You overthink everything.
Oh. Well, one thing's for clear, I can't go back on my own.
It does put you in a bit of a predicament, does it? I'm sorry, Bartholomew, but the consensus seems to be to move on.
Well, move on then. I want to get us...
So what do you mean by hurrying up? Are you gonna, stop sleeping in the night so that you can cover more?
I'll not stop sleeping, but, try to pick up the pace a little bit.
All right. How did that go? A forced march, right? Is that a strong check?
That's good.
I thought it
That
was.
will be great
Oh,
for
hey,
our.
that's a 1 though. So.
Strong. Oh, a natural 20.
Oh, nice.
I
I
got a
fall
1.
asleep
You got a
instantly, I
20.
guess.
You're just
Well,
too old for this shit.
Well, I was warning you.
I suppose I'll tell you what's going on just as soon as I find the stupid rule I didn't think I'll need. Amika, do you remember it? By chance?
The forced march thing, I don't
Uh-huh.
really recall. Sorry, unfortunately.
All right, forest march.
Yeah. I can.
All right, you cover more, but blah 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 blah. Sorry about that. Stupid. Ah, it's just no natural healing will occur this day.
Okay.
Fuck. All right.
Well, that's
But
not a real problem.
But here's what's gonna happen. Being basically you roll a 20, we were supposed to like give you something extra dirty, and that will be you fall from exhaustion on the forced march. But we have also a 1, so that probably means that Arno is able to assist you and drag you through the mud so that you don't fall behind.
Arno's feeling like a boss today.
Yeah.
Can I heal myself? Make me feel better as with Medicus, or is it just for wounds?
It's usually just for wounds, but once you regain your consciousness, let's say you got some herbs that can be used for invigoration.
Yeah, I've got alchemy as well, so I could
Cool.
do something with that.
Can you give me then a cunning check? I suppose it's gonna be. What is it?
It tastes good.
Oh, so it's good.
No. It just tastes good.
Ah, it just tastes good. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. So you seem to have brought your D&D dice tonight.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah. Well, you are unable to find among your pouch or anywhere in this forest the correct ingredients to make something refreshing for yourself. But anyways, your force march seems to be working because now you're getting deeper and deeper into the forest. The trees are becoming bigger and a little bit more sparse. So you no longer see any dead trees around because those are like huge, tall centurion trees, I think is the word, or maybe not. Who knows? It seems like they have been here forever. And this is like getting dark already when you seem to realize that there's something among these trees. Like there's not a shade, but there's a silhouette in the trees that is no longer the monotonous sight that you have been having during your march. It seems to be quite far from you at this point, so it's a safe distance where you can stop and probably go investigate what's going on.
Yeah. Well, I suppose I'll, with my blades drawn, sort of quietly move forward.
Yeah, I just wanted to confirm if you're gonna go alone or.
I'll move a little bit ahead of the others since I seem to be the one who just loves to traipse right into danger, and because I'm fairly quiet, so I'll try to move as inconspicuously as possible, just far enough ahead from the others that particularly Abinar's tramping and stomping isn't gonna give me away.
All right. Give me a discreet still.
Okay. Well, that's a 4. Should do it.
Yeah, that's no problem for you. Now, where's my little share screen? There it is. So you advance,
The two micas.
and you see this.
Oh shit. Oh.
So there's something that resembles a something like a throne made out of naturally forming rocks and vines and trees and whatnot. And upon it, there is a large figure, probably the giant that you've been looking for, and who was thought being dead for maybe a millennia or so. He's still having this huge crown, and there seems to be like a sparkle where the eyes used to be. Now you see that the rest of it is surrounded in mist, and this mist seems to be moving. Around this mist, can you give me a vigilance check at -3?
Oh boy, so I gotta get a 4. That's never happening. Oh shit, I got a 1? No, come on. Well.
All right, so just as you start making out what is moving into this mist, you realize that the things that are moving in this mist are like the creatures that woke you up
Oh shit.
in the last sequence of your dream. And this one seems to be coming right at you. And it's like, but it doesn't seem to be doing anything. It just comes right at you, just like in the dream, passes you through. Maybe you get 2 or 3 more white hairs. And yeah, and that's about it. What do you do?
All right, I start as this thing passes through me, and I kind of still quietly move backwards, sort of take a couple of shaky steps back, and then sort of once I'm far enough away from the thing that I feel comfortable doing so, I pick up my pace and head quickly back to where the others are, and I'm sort of shaking a little bit, sort of wishing that I'd had a chance to indulge in a little bit more dream snuff before I, was in their presence again. There's something there. There's something there. This giant that we're seeking. It's there, but the things from the dream, they're there too. It's one of them. It moved right through me, into me, past me.
Like in my
What-
dream.
So, you mean we found what we were looking for?
Well, it seems so. Yes.
Well, it's not exactly at the place that you thought it would be on the map, but you know that your map is not 100% accurate anyway.
Okay, well, those things from your dream, from our dreams, how do you think we can pass them? Or
Well, I don't know. You're the mystic. What do you think?
would I know anything about what it is with a beast lore?
Well, Beast Lore, no, but you can roll me a cunning.
That's a huge success. A 3.
A 3. So that's a good success. Nice. All right. Well, very few things you have heard about what would be considered necromancy around these parts. So you are not quite sure what you can do about these, but you remember the dreams, and then it kind of dawns on you, and it's not really something you'd like, but they do seem to be pleased by blood sacrifices. And maybe there's like a very, very far off thought, like in your mind, that Ivan, who wanted to come with you, could have been a good idea. But it's just a passing thought. You know, all of us have this evil thoughts in our heads from time to time.
Once in a while.
Yeah.
But Ivan is rather far away, isn't he?
I don't know. Does Bartolo share?
Yeah, I'll tell them that Did anyone secretly bring a sheep or something? I think we need blood to appease these things.
I don't have one in my pocket right now. I'm sorry.
What sort of blood? I mean,
Blood from a living creature. That would be a start.
well, but does it need to be a human or merely some sort of animal?
Yes, are we considered creature?
Well, if I recall the dream correct, at first they started with creatures, and if that didn't work, they used the addicts of the village, I believe, if I remember correctly.
The what?
The drug addicts.
Well, it's good for me that I've done away with that unfortunate habit now, isn't it?
I wasn't suggesting anything, merely trying to recall the dream.
Well, if addicts were the next step after animals, then I suppose that they'd prefer something a little bit more. He just chuckles nervously.
Have we seen any living creatures on our in the last day?
During your last day, no. You can use your beast lore though. I'll give you to roll two dice and get the better one, the lower one in this case, so that you can look around quickly for any signs of creatures that could have been here during the last day, 2 or 3, like tracks, droppings, marks on bark, and other parts of the tree.
Well, the first one was a success.
All right, cool. So you do realize that they may have been creatures here, but the marks of creatures are like at least 3 days old.
About when we stopped the rituals from happening.
Yeah.
Well,
do you think we could reason with these beings?
I don't know. You're the mystic around here.
I haven't been mysticizing for that very long yet, you know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm a wizard. I've read a lot of books, but I've never come across anything like this.
And while you're discussing, can all of you give me a vigilance check?
Yep. Well, this time it failed dismally.
Same here.
Same here.
So yeah, while you're discussing, you were too busy trying to find a way to please these creatures that you didn't realize that a few of them are already circling you through the haze. And now that you do, you suddenly realize, because they have come way too close for comfort, they are circling you. You see their ugly, distorted faces, and you see them opening their mouths. You are sure you're not hearing any sound, but just like the whistling of leaves and branches and whatnot. And they seem to be forming the words blood, blood, blood.
Well, it can't be more obvious.
Yeah.
Ominous.
And they seem to be opening their mouths and showing their fangs.
Can't be any more obvious indeed, but do you have some to share, maybe? Can you spare blood? Because I mean, I need mine.
Well, no, I prefer my blood to stay inside of my veins, thank you very much.
Well, you're the strong man here. Try and fight one of them.
Me? He looks down at his relatively scrawny arms. Strong? No.
Well, let's see who bleeds first. And I take my sword and I really attack one.
All right. Give me an attack roll at -2.
Yeah, I make it. Make it.
All right. So you thrust your sword, or you swing your sword towards this. It doesn't seem to be getting any resistance from the air. This blackish smoke creature kind of goes around your sword and then forms back up after your swing.
Tell
They
you what,
realize.
it won't bleed.
Well, I suppose that's why it needs blood, eh? Chuckles nervously, kind of stares at the creatures, holding his sword out, even though he's, fairly certain it's not going to do much of anything. Well, listen, fellows, what sort of blood are you in the mood for? What do you say we catch you? He looks at Bartolom. I don't know. What's wandering about in these woods?
Maybe that giant you saw?
Something tells me that that's possibly the thing clamoring for blood rather than a potential source of blood. But, you're the smart one.
Well, if I'm the smart one, maybe you should finally follow my suggestion and run.
Oh, I'm good at running. You look like you might be a little bit slower. And he kind of dances back, kind of slowly backing away from the creatures to see if they'll pursue. Just trying to gauge whether they're going to try to, attack him if he moves back a little bit.
At this point, they're like a whirlpool around you three.
Right.
So there's actually backing away from some of them will get you in the way of the others. They don't seem to be moving. They just seem to be, seeking their blood and just circling around. And seeing you move and not really willing to give them any blood, this starts beginning to sound a lot like some chant, some necromantic chant. So I need resolute checks from all of you.
Oh boy. Oh, that's a 20.
But I have a 1 this time.
I didn't make it.
Oh, you didn't make it. All right. So what happens is the brave knight kind of looks like she gets stunned, like she stops moving at all after the first swing, and she's like, stunned, I think is the perfect description. But Arno, Bartolom, you see this with the horror in your eyes. Arno is not only stunned, he suddenly smiles towards one of the creatures as though he saw the best thing that he's ever seen. And you see him slowly starting to roll his sleeve up and looking for his dagger. What do you do? Since you got a 1, you have a chance to react.
I'd give him a slap in the face.
All right, so you give him a slap in the face. He turns over to you. He doesn't seem to really see you, just smiling like a fucking idiot.
Bartolom. Where did you go? Where is everyone? Oh, this is not a very good dream, is it?
Avanara, help me hold him. We can't let him do this.
Well, Avanara is currently stunned, so he doesn't even hear you. It does seem that he wants to cut his veins and give the creatures to drink.
He takes the dagger out and starts to slowly press it against my wrist.
I try to stop him.
I try to stop Bartolom, and I shout, "Someone has to do it!"
When he tries to grab me, assuming I have any control over myself, I try to stab him.
Oh my god! What's your quick, Arno?
Actually, it's only 10.
Oh, it's only 10. What's your strong, Benara?
15.
All right, so Bartol, to see how that goes, you need to give me a strong check at -5.
Oh. 17, no. That's a no-go.
Well, at least it's not a 20. But by how much did you miss, though?
13. I have 9. So 9 minus 5 is...
I see. Well, this is what happens. Just as you are trying to wrestle his dagger out of him, he's trying to stab you. And just before he obviously is going to, Abenara comes from nowhere and just tackles you on the ground, trying to stop you. So at this point, give me another residue check at -5, Arno.
-5, okay.
Go
Already
ahead.
on.
Yep, nope.
Nope. All right. So what
Not
happens
20.
is, while they're tackling on the ground and wrestling, you take out your dagger and make a small cut on your wrists. You lose just 1 toughness. But what happens? One of these creatures just comes at you like a crazy cat that hasn't eaten for days, and just you throw some food at it, and it just starts munching, and it just starts licking your hand and just starts. What's this word? Smooching from the blood from the wound. Sorry,
Slurping.
slurping. Thank you. And just as it does to all of you, you see a sudden bright light, and this shadowy creature. Oh, well, it's probably smooching you as well. You see this shadowy creature that was so ugly and whatnot turns into a beautiful woman with blonde hair and a white gown, and you don't even see the blood at this point. She's like holding your hand and smiling at you and is saying,
I
"Thank you."
smile right back. And I say, oh, Odala, oh, you look so beautiful in that dress. I didn't expect to see you here. What are you doing here? Oh, Odala.
Do we all see that?
Yeah, you all see that and you all hear that, and her reply is, "I knew you would come. I knew you would save me, and now I need more."
Of course. I'm so sorry. I left you. Yeah, anything for you, Odala. I missed you so much. And he takes his dagger and just opens the cut up more, letting
All
more
right.
blood flow out.
You all see this. He continues to hurt himself and getting another toughness damage.
All right.
What do you guys do on the ground?
I don't think I'm strong enough to stop this guy.
I still think that someone has to bleed, so that woman makes me nervous though, so I wait cautiously what's happening.
Well, to you, she does now seem to have some material form.
To have someone's what?
To have a material form.
Okay.
At this point now, she's got some blood.
Are you calling for blood?
No,
Was that
this
was
is
that a war
Odala.
cry?
This
Sorry?
is
Oh,
this
okay,
is
sorry.
just Odala. She's well, we used to be together. Now we're going to be together again.
Yeah, maybe that you're going to be together for a very, very long time.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. This time I'm not going to leave her. I'm not going to leave her to take care of our daughter all by herself. I'm going to take good care of her. I'm going to take care of all of them. Isn't that right, Ardala? That's why she came back for me, because she knows I've changed. I'm better. I'm different.
Yes, you are my love, and now we need more. Come, sisters, and she waves towards the others to come feast on your blood.
I didn't know you had sisters, Odala, but they're just as beautiful as you are. I mean, well, no, of course of course, Odala, of course they're not as beautiful as you are. No one's as beautiful as you. You're as radiant as the dawn, but they're you can clearly see the family resemblance, of course.
I stare at those women, just like maybe 5 seconds, and you see you see the cocks turning in her brain, and then she suddenly turns around, grabs Bartolom and starts running. I think now's the time.
I concur.
No, not now.
I mean, you're right. Let's run. Let's. Too bad for Arno, but well.
All right, you grab him and start running. Arno, give me a resolute check at -2.
Okay. Oh, hey, yeah, I made it. Finally.
That's a great moment for you to regain yourself as your friends, or maybe former friends already, try to like run away and leave you there with these creatures. Well, these creatures now are looking like fine young ladies with white gowns, but they're definitely not your beloved one.
I pull my arm away. What? What is it? No, 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 no. This isn't right. No, 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 no. You're not Odale. Who are you? What are you? And I kind of turn around and start trying to run off. But if they're going to try to attack me as I run off, then I'll try to use my acrobatics to evade getting a free attack from them as I run away.
As soon as you try to run away, they all shout, "Stop! We need more!" And they all try to grab you, but I will do that just as the closest one is trying to grab you so that we don't do checks till tomorrow.
No. Oh, damn die. That was also a 5. So that's under my quick of 10, so that should allow me to escape. Let me take a look at
Yeah, that allows you to escape,
acrobatics
and
again.
you start running, I suppose, after your friends,
Yep.
and these gals start chasing you.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Seeing
Bring
that
them our way.
I kind of try to find some place to hide myself from them as my friends are clonking around through the woods running. Try to kind of, I don't know, find some place to lay low for a minute and see if I can, get them to run past me after the others.
I see. Well, let's see how that goes, though. They just started running. You started running a little bit after them, and it's gonna be quite impossible for you to hide right away. So there'll be at least a little bit running, and that would be strong checks from all around. Just to confirm, Abenara, are you carrying Bartolom, or are you now running on your own?
Dragging him.
All right. So for you, that's gonna be a strong check of 2d10 and d20s, and you pick the larger result. Bartol doesn't have to make one; he's being dragged.
Look at it.
I should have passed mine unless there's some modifiers. 6 out of 9.
There aren't any modifiers.
All right.
Sorry, was that a good one or a bad one, Abner?
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. I didn't make it.
You didn't make it. All right, so you see that when you start running, Arno is obviously the best sprinter from the group. He is already
right now.
dashing away. And give me a discrete now, Arno, please, at -3.
Oh, that's a 1.
All right, so you basically don't see him. He just ducks, or you can just describe it, Annika.
Yeah. So I kind of go running past them, just sort of bolted to this sprint. I'm not a particularly strong guy, but at the moment I'm pretty propelled by fear. And I see Abenara kind of with Bartolom over her shoulder, and I just kind of like dart off to the side of them, sort of skirt around them, and then sort of dive down into some brush. down by the ground and sort of move around quietly behind that before kind of coming to rest behind a large tree, and keeping an eye out behind me, start sort of moving very quickly from tree to tree, sort of hiding myself within the shadows, which I'm sure there's plenty in this dark grove, as the others as Arbinara tries to, recover from her exertion.
While on the other end, you got damn it! Did you hear that?
Yep.
Cool. So it's not just in my head.
Well resolute.
Yeah. They catch up with you, and you can both give me defense rolls at -2.
Everyone?
No, you two. You and Bartolo. You are being caught up.
Oh,
Okay, I rolled a 20. That's not good.
Ooh.
17. That's not good either.
Oh, god damn it. The
All right.
one time I rely on you.
Both of you are getting, let me see, 3 points of damage. And tell me if you got any damage through your armor at all.
It's 1d4.
Ooh, nice.
Still 2.
So Bartolo, you get 1 damage and 1d4. Sorry, what?
I rolled 1 on my d4, so
so you get
only
2
one that
points of
goes to-
toughness damage, and give me a 1d6 for temporary corruption.
2.
Nice. Oh, you lost the
other-
previous one, so you are good for now. Arbinara, did any damage go through your awesome armor?
I don't get what my armor is. I'm stupid. Hang on. Is def?
Kind of
No.
armor do you have?
Somewhere around the defense should be armor with a die.
Do you know what your armor is called?
Ah!
And whether you have man at arms or not?
I have. Is it protection? What I have to roll?
Yep.
Oh, okay. 1d10.
Oh, sorry. Protection. Damn it.
So I rolled a 5.
Cool. So this scratch from this lady's, not fangs, the other thing on the nails, doesn't go through your, I suppose, D8. So that's heavy armor, I suppose.
Yeah, heavy armor.
But you see Bartolo is hurt, and there's a sudden streak of blackness that goes through his veins, flashes for a second, and then disappears. And you can roll me initiative at this point. Arno, you don't have to roll me initiative because you're well hidden and you can act at any point that you like. But Avanaro and Bartolom, just roll against your initiative score. I think for both of you that should be quick, unless you have any other talents that modifies that.
I made it.
I made it too.
Cool. So it's your turn. There's 5 of those. 2 have already caught up with you, and the other 3 are coming shortly.
Well, I'm going to Brimstone Cascade.
Oh, you're
The hell
also
out of
the
them.
fire bolt thingy, right?
Yeah.
What do they... Oh, in that case, I suppose you have to roll.
It's a resolute versus quick.
Versus their quick. Cool. So give me a check at minus... How is that 1? That's 1. Oh, yeah, that's 1. Yeah, give me a resident -1.
Okay. That should work. 9. The first one's a success. So
How many creatures does your brimstone cascade catch?
one after another until I run a failure.
Cool. So what's the
But I don't
damage?
know if I need to roll damage once or every time. Probably every time.
I'll leave that up to you because I don't have the book in front of me right now. So
Well, I'll do the first one first.
Okay.
And that's a 4.
All right.
And then it goes on to the next one. And I roll a 5, so that's a hit as well. This one gets 7 points of damage.
Ooh. Do you choose for it to go prone, or you're gonna go and smack it with your stuff after this brimstone cascade?
Let it go prone.
All right.
The third one is a hit as well. I'm really getting all fired up here, literally. And that one does... I have to check. 12 points of damage.
Wow.
Was that a fire or a lightning?
It's brimstone cascade.
All right, so
It's
fire.
a fire and lashes out with fire and brimstone.
You want to give us an awesome description of?
Well, the thing gets zapped, and as soon as it gets hit, the fire starts spreading all over it's smoky mist kind of thing until it's all flame, and then as quick as it caught flame, the fire goes out, and with a poof, that one is gone. The other two, were they close enough to get hit as well?
Oh yeah, they're like almost next to each other, just haven't touched you yet.
And then what happens if you roll a 1?
Something awesome. Can you make up something awesome? Like hit both of them at once. Or also do me an extra d6 of damage for this.
Okay, this one is gone as well, I think. Well, somehow this one was too close to the previous one, and I already got a little bit burned by being too close before my chain of my bolt of fire reached him and scorched him all over again with 9 points of damage this time.
Almost gone. But it also falls on the ground.
And the last one gets hit as well.
Yep. How much?
Yeah, 1 point of damage.
All right. Thank you. That was awesome. Get
Yeah.
yourself your d4 of corruption. I suppose
That's a 1.
It's a d4 for wizards as well, right?
Yeah, unless they have an ability that makes it so they don't take temporary corruption, like wizardry, adept, or...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed, then I don't get that.
All right. So that was awesome. If you
no.
Adept wizardry you only take 1 temporary corruption. Sorry.
No. That's when I'm an adept at that. Now I'm only a novice, and
right.
I cast this spell at adept level, so I got the corruption.
Cool.
But it was only 1.
Everyone.
You still have your movement. Do you want to stay where you are? You want to, step behind the armored knight, or?
No. I can only move right. I can't do another.
No, cannot do another awesome spell.
No, I'll stay where I am.
All right, then it's Benara, I suppose, because Armin is taking his time behind the trees.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait and see if her sword seems to be able to have any effect on them or not. If she doesn't hit them, I'll still come out and attack, but for now I'll just wait until after her turn.
So next to you, there is one slightly hit, one hit a little bit more, and one on the ground, two on the ground.
What on the ground?
Two creatures on the
Oh,
ground,
okay.
two still standing up, slightly
jeez.
singed.
I try to hide somewhere. Is there a tree or a bush I can throw myself into?
Come on, brave knight.
No,
Well-
this is nothing I can work with. I mean, I couldn't hit shit before, and this is weird.
Wait a second, maybe I wasn't explaining this correctly. Once they drank the blood, they seem to now not to be that transparent, and they seem to have some material form. at
Oh,
least.
okay, yeah. Oh, damn it. Is there a one? Okay, I'll go for the one who is the furthest away from Bart. I can't say your name. Bartolom.
Just say Bart then.
Bart.
Mr. Simpson. Yeah. Can I
So-
reach that furthest away one?
Yeah, you can move your. You can use your movement action to go around the one that's standing next to you without,
Yeah.
leaving its reach.
Yeah, I'm scared that something's going to burn soon again, so I don't go for the closest one.
Awesome.
Yeah. I rolled a 4.
You rolled a 4, so yeah, even with the minus, you're still good.
Oh, and I rolled max damage, 12.
Now you feel that your sword doesn't quite hit like what you're used to, like bodies of armor and stuff, but it still goes maybe something into like a slush. But then you can describe your awesome kill to us.
Probably I'll just split it in half with full force and with full gusto.
And it kind of splits up like a jelly at first, and then it slowly starts turning back into smoke, and then later on dust.
That's satisfying.
Seems like that goes easier after they've been burned, right?
I think it wasn't you.
So, seeing the effect of Abinara's sword and realizing that these things seem to be somewhat more corporal, I'm going to try to come up behind one of them, preferably one that looks like it's already been pretty badly singed by Bartolom's flames.
There are two on the ground. They're almost done for.
All right. Well, if there's one on the ground, well, I'm going to go for one of the ones on the ground. So that gives me advantage, right? So
Yeah.
+2 and then an extra 1d4. All right. What is my what do I need?
You're
to
attacking at -2.
-2. All right, and that's versus discreet. That's 15 after those. All right, so that's a 5. And that's a 17. So one hit with my sword and a miss with my dagger. So that is 1d10 and 1d4. Where the fuck is 1d10? All right, I'll use my percentile die instead. That's a 8 and a 2. That's 10 damage.
All right. It's down for, and if you want to tell us more about it.
All right, yeah. So Arno takes his little moment of quote unquote heroism as he darts from his hidden place in the bushes, snakes from behind a tree, and runs towards one of the women that's laying on the ground, and just takes his rapier and drives the point of it right down into her throat. The dagger comes down into the ground next to her, missing its target, but of course the blade pierces her throat with a fountain of blood, and he yanks it out, himself spattered in blood, and starts looking around wildly for the next one.
All right. This is awesome. Apart from him, there is no blood at all. It's just like,
oh, okay.
on that kind of creature. It didn't drink that much. You didn't give it enough. So.
Got it.
All right. The other two remaining are gathering themselves. They look at you with the faces of, "Why are you doing this?" And they open their mouths, and from their mouths comes one of the most beautiful songs you've ever heard in your lives. and all of a sudden, like, time stops for you, and it sings about your best moments, probably when you were children, and how you dreamt of, whatever you dreamt of. And you all need to give me resolute checks at -5.
Okay. 4 that I've got to make. Nope, that's a 16. Nope.
20 again.
Yoo-hoo!
Oh,
And I also failed.
All right, so you are enthralled by this awesome song, and for you, the time has stopped. But what happens, like, if we zoom out, it hasn't stopped. You're just, unable to move for your next turn or do anything about it. And for these awesome 20, I'm going to give you Urbanara, that you're a little bit obsessed now. Not only you cannot move, but you also feel really, really guilty about slaying this creature in two. So you kind of drop your sword and fall on your knees.
Wait. I got a 20? No, I got a 6. No.
No,
I
Abinara.
did.
Ah, sorry.
Abinara, you drop your sword and you fall on your knees, and your palms are around your face, and you almost start crying.
What did I do?
Yeah, they're gonna get an advantage to attack you now, since you're unable to do anything this turn after their awesome song. Their viciousness comes back, and so who they're gonna choose? They're gonna choose the Weeping Knight and the Cowardly Wizard, who basically did the most damage to them. All right, give me defenses at. Oh, you're all at disadvantage, I suppose. You're always stunned and enthralled. Give me defenses at -4 this time, both of you. Abinara and Bartolo.
Oh, I didn't make it again. Oh, man.
But I'm
Alright.
still listening to that song.
If you got hit, now they are kind of more enraged, so the damage is up. Against you, Bartolo, is 4 damage, and against you, Abinara, this is 6 damage.
Oh,
Because of
okay.
the advantage
I
they got for you.
blocked 2 of that with, so I take
Nice.
another 2.
That also gives you 1d6 temporary corruption from their touch. Bartolo. How's your corruption doing? You hit the threshold yet?
Yeah, I'm at 9, and my threshold is 8.
So after this hit, you get blighted, like you have a mark. And that mark, if you think about it, something cool you can give us. Otherwise, I'll give you something. What about you, Abinara? Did you get any damage?
I don't remember how that works.
You need to roll now your protection against.
Okay.
What did I say? 6. Your protection was 1d8, right?
No, 1d10.
Oh, 1d10. Cool.
Okay, I rolled a 9.
So you absorb all of that damage.
Oh, okay.
Perfect. Bartolo, have you thought about the blight sign on you when you hit your threshold?
No.
All
Not
right.
yet. But I think that because I was burning them, it will be something that smells of brimstone or the smell that stays around me.
Suddenly, half your face changes, and it changes into as if you have been burned before, and it has not healed well. How's that sound?
Yeah, perfect.
Like you have been hit with your own with your own spell. All right, that was them, and it's back to you guys. Now you have regained your consciousness. There's 2 of them left.
I can do my thing again, right?
Oh yes, go ahead in this damn forest. Bring your corruption to its final destination. Become a blighted creature. I'd love that.
Of course.
Yes.
Well, it's a hit, so I'll take you with me.
They're already at too low of health, but anyways, you can roll a 1 or a 2.
Yeah,
Right?
the first one gets a 2.
That one was already gone for, but the next one
The
could
next
still
one
survive.
gets hit as well, and he gets a 9.
Oh, fuck. It's exactly at 9. Damn it. They don't have any defense against fire. All right.
Well, the fireball hits the belly of the creature, and it bursts open, going right through it, and then it's as if it gets sucked into the hole and evaporates like that.
Awesome. They go away with a very deathly wail. And as soon as they do, you hear a voice, a very deep voice coming from where the large giant was. Like, thank you, my heroes.
Ardo, finishes. He kind of wipes his rapier off on his cloak with a little bit of a flourish, squares his shoulders. Heroes. I like the sound of that. I suppose there isn't any kind of reward for this heroism, is there?
Of course.
How many did you kill, Arno?
He points to the one on the ground. That one right there. She was about to pose quite a threat to your safety, Bartolome. And not to mention that the only reason we were able to harm them at all is because I had the clever idea of letting them taste of my blood.
Oh, well, that's news for me.
I
Anyway,
would like to see you harm them when they were mere shadows. You saw Benara's blade pass right through them, didn't you?
look, friend. Last time you got a reward. This time, get back. Did I have to roll for corruption for that last spell?
Of course. I mean, you didn't?
No, not yet. So I've got 12 now.
Nice. We're getting close there, right? What's your resolute?
15.
Nice. Good thing is that the scene is not over yet. You hear that voice, and he says, "Of course, there is. Come."
Bartolome, how about you go ahead? It is your reward, after all.
Yeah, well, and it should be.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Giant, sir. I'm Bartholomew the wizard.
And the leader of this entire operation.
And the whole reason why we're here.
Precisely.
Nice to meet you, Bartolo. Unfortunately, it's been too long and I cannot remember my own name. But here, come closer and tell me, what do you want in return?
Well, I step up a little bit and I tell him, we were told of riches untold of.
Ah, riches. That's why you came and not for removing this curse from this forest, have you? Well, I'll tell you something.
We started to have dreams about the forest, and we knew we couldn't, turn back. That we just had to help lift the dark curse that had fallen upon this land. Obviously, though our initial motivations might not have been pure. Well,
I'll tell you something. I also came in this forest for its riches, but look at me now. And you do realize that he doesn't move. He's just, there isn't even a mouth. It's just a voice that you hear all in your side of your head.
What happened to you then?
I've been trapped. I cannot die and I cannot live.
That doesn't sound too good.
Because of my greed.
This is about to become a lot of moralizing, isn't it?
So, do you still want more riches? And this last word just kind of enhances, goes louder into your head.
Hmm.
What do you think, Bartolome? You're the mystic.
Would I have any idea if it's good to ask for? Well, we did go through a lot. I don't know if it should be riches in the monetary.
Sense.
But anyway, yeah. What were you going to say?
Listen, big fellow, what is it that you can offer us that doesn't end in us turning into some sort of fetid forest spirits rotting on the floor here?
I can give you everything I've gathered for all my life. I can lift the spell that covers them, but you have to do something for me in return.
And what exactly would that be?
You see this crown on my head? I need something. You need to bring me someone and stick them on this big horn on my crown while they are still breathing. That would relieve me of my curse and I can finally die. And the forest curse will be removed as well.
Does it need to be anyone in particular?
Do I still feel pain that I murdered that creature?
It's all up to you now.
Huh.
What does that crown look like, actually?
Don't you see the image I shared?
Yeah, but it's kind of dark.
Well, there's
a big spike on the front.
There's a huge spike horn on the front of it.
But it's made of wood or something. That's what I mean.
Yeah, it's made of wood.
Okay.
Just anyone who is still alive and breathing, one final sacrifice, and you will save the forest. And there will no longer need to be any more sacrifices.
I'm not sure.
Uncomfortable silence.
What
do you guys think?
I'm not the one who does the thinking around here, Bartolome.
I just shake my head. No. No.
Well, of course, but other than that, when we came here, we stopped the human sacrifice. I don't think I could bring myself to actually make one.
And what will happen if we don't?
The curse will continue to grow until someone stops it, or it engulfs the whole forest and then the land beyond.
In other words, it'll become someone else's problem. I can live with that.
And it would mean we have to get far away, no? We're not really talking to that thing right now. We're talking amongst ourselves. I hope he doesn't hear everything.
It's in our heads, right? It's talking inside of our heads.
Yep.
And don't give him any ideas.
Well, you see, look around you closer, and if you do, you see into the mud. They're kind of different human bones and parts of armor from different eras. And he's going to say that all these brave men and women came all the way over here looking for my treasure, and none of them could make themselves do what is necessary, and also couldn't live with the guilt that they couldn't. So many of them lingered here around me, kept me company until they just died.
Hmm. Well,
But it seems that you are just another group of such adventurers who are
no,
not going to do the right thing.
absolutely not. We already did a lot. I think we slaughtered most of these things that were surrounding you, that were keeping you prisoner here.
More of them will come tomorrow or that night, and
Well, we're
more
still here.
more will appear. At the end, you'll be overwhelmed if you linger. So, if you're not gonna do what's right, I suppose you turn around and run. Suggest so.
I don't know. You're asking for a lot. Human sacrifice.
Well, what do we get out of it other than, well, saving a bunch of other people's hides?
And my treasure, I said. I'm gonna lift the spell that is covering it.
Oh. Well, that does
I look
change
very
the stakes a bit.
interested now too.
I mean, there's all sorts of scum in this world that aren't really much worth the breath that they inhale.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we can find someone whom no one would miss. For the common good, of course.
Of course, of course.
To prevent others from meeting even more terrible deaths.
Well, I guess if you put it like that, you.
So you can save the world for the treasure of a famous giant adventure. But otherwise, no. Nice. Good to know.
Oh well, everyone has its fault.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what actually happened to make you get stuck here?
It's a long story. It's a curse. There used to be a coven of creatures who linger through that forests and both protect them, but they got tainted. So the taint started to spread. And there's a powerful spell of theirs. Although they're gone, it still binds me to this throne. The throne that I wanted for myself. And now I cannot get rid of. I cannot die peacefully. This is their curse.
I see.
There's another way, but each time I suggested, people start running. You can attack and try to kill me because my treasure is beneath that throne, but as soon as you hit me, I'll have to hit you back.
Arno sheaths his sword and takes a few steps back. Well, if anyone's planning on taking that course of action, please give me about an hour's warning.
Don't worry, I'll have to go back on my throne once I'm dealt with anyone who attacks me. This is how my curse compels me.
But he's on a wooden throne, all made of wood.
Goodness. Like I said, just give me a bit of a running start.
Some have tried, but you cannot even see their remains.
Listen to him. I don't see any of their remains. I believe him. I think we should, make the moral choice here. The one that'll save the most lives, including ours.
You mean sacrifice one?
Yeah, for the good of the many. Like I said, I'm sure there's someone who's well, you know what I mean.
What about your friend we left back?
Yvonne?
Mm-hmm.
Yvonne's a simple, kind young man. He's helped us quite a bit. I wouldn't, I mean, sure there's someone in that village who's more of an asshole than Yvonne.
Yeah, you're right. After all, chances are, if we try to fight this thing, the three of us may die. So probably it's best just to one versus three is better, right?
Yeah. And as I said, not Yvonne, you know. I might not have the back of everyone who's helped me. I won't claim that, but at least I won't stab them in the back. Got that going for me, I suppose.
So is that your final decision to go back to the village, grab
Kidnap some guy
someone?
that seems like a considerable asshole.
Is that a consensus among all of you?
Yeah.
I can't resist the majority, so I'll have to.
You can throw a
assist in
fireball,
this.
see what
Stay
happens.
behind and try to catch him on fire.
You can throw one and see how that goes. But yes, we're doing that, not a fireball, correct?
Yes.
All right. You go back to the village. Of course, you have to once again, hide yourselves from wandering trees and evil spirits. And you manage to arrive to the city just in time. It's early morning, and what you see is Ivan, but he's robed and he's standing on top of the altar. And he has just sacrificed a human on the altar. This seems to have done the trick because the bushes and the trees and the general mood around the village is once again jolly and bright. Everyone is still dancing and being intoxicated by whatever they drank last night.
Yvonne.
And you emerge.
Yeah, I'm surprised. What's Ivan? That simple man? I'll look at Arnaud. That simple man.
And I look at Yvonne. Yvonne, you seem to have increased your station since we last met. It's only been a few days. What's happened?
He's looking startled at you. He's looking startled at what the whole thing that is going on. He looks back to the three friends of his that used to be with him when they were, trying to herd you the right way. And he's like, well, it had to be done.
What, Yvonne, my friend, what if we told you that there was another way?
What other way?
Well, Yvonne, I think that we need to speak to you in private because, you're clearly the most important person in the village now. And this is really for your ears only, I think.
The other three also in robes, and they're taking their large stuffs with them. They're pointing them this time aggressively towards you. Say, you stay out of this. You already caused enough trouble. And they kind of whistle, and you see that the rest of the villagers are, still dancing, waggling left and right, but they turn to you and start looking aggressive and start like shouting, yada yada or whatever. And just they're trying to shush you away like some cattle or something.
I shake my head. You fools! You know where we've been. We've been deep in the depths of the forest. You've never even seen this thing that you've spilled blood for, have you?
But Ivan raises his hands and says, All right, peace, peace, my brothers. I will go over with these people and see what they have to do about it. And he doesn't even wash bloods off his hands. It's not like something he cares about at this point. He approaches you and asks you, "What do you have in mind? Like,
Well,
what can be done?"
this creature deep in the forest, this giant, the one that demands blood. We've seen it. We've stood before it, Ivan, and
Impossible.
and I stretch out my hand and my wrist, which is still slit and kind of oozing a little bit of blood. His servants drink from my own blood. I
He
felt
steps
their
a little bit
caresses.
back.
I've seen them. I've
He's
seen
not
their
lying.
blazing eyes.
He takes another step back. So what? You're his servants now?
No,
No,
just need someone to help us carry the treasure.
no, Bartolome. Listen. Ivan is going to help us, aren't you, Ivan? Because you
How?
see, what this uh, what this creature wants is one final sacrifice to be brought before him. Someone who's not worthy of living, but could do something for the good of all. One last sacrifice, and then it'll all be over, Ivan.
He turns around. He
Help
doesn't
us,
seem to
Bartolome.
understand what you're asking of him. He says, "And you want me to take the sacrificial dagger and sacrifice one of you?"
No, Ivan. You need to find us someone who no one will miss, someone whose sacrifice will be the one that finally lifts this curse for good. And then we'll do all of the dirty work. We'll bring him for you to this creature in the forest. Present the sacrifice to him.
He
And
scratches his head and starts thinking about what you are actually proposing. And you can give me a persuasion at +2.
all right. So 7 under 15.
Damn it. And finally, he looks at you and says, "Yes, I think I know what needs to be done." And he takes off. He goes back to his fellows. He takes off his robes. He keeps the ceremonial dagger and takes a bit of food and a stuff and comes with you and says, "I'll come. No
I-
one will miss me."
Ivan. Come. You're a good man. I'm sure there are many people in the village who will miss you. There has to be someone else.
Uh, Quizzically, he's looking at you, points towards the altar, and says, "I just sacrificed our little sister, so I think I deserve to be the one."
My jaw drops.
Well, you're making quite a convincing argument here, Ivan. Let's go.
So you go back, and once again, you manage to. Oh, maybe you fight some trees along the way, but we're not gonna get into that. He willingly goes there. He takes the sacrificial dagger with him. It's very sad. I mean, you probably want to stop him at some points, but you know that it has to be done. He looks at the last moment to all your faces and says goodbye in his very childish voice, and he just plunges onto that
What?
thing. What?
Oh, he
Yeah.
plunges onto that.
Or Ivan, we hardly knew ye.
His blood spills, and as it spills, you first see that this huge giant at first becomes like a body, a sparkling body of vigor and youth, and then it's very quickly starts aging, and then it turns into a corpse, and then into dust, and just you see a huge pile of dust of that throne that also starts disappearing and turning into dust, and just below it there is a huge, huge for you opening in between the bedrock, and in that little cave there's a lot of treasure of any sorts. His famous sword, which is very hard for you to carry, even the three of you, but you know it's magical. It's encrusted with all kinds of runes and precious stones. All of you get 3 permanent corruption, since you basically, well, you didn't sacrifice the guy, but you made it possible. So from now on, your heroes will have this heavy heart while they go adventuring and meeting with the unnatural. So what do you think your adventurers will be doing after this?
Well, we'll be needing another get-rich-quick scheme, I guess.
That
You
didn't
just
work
got-
out too well.
You just got rich beyond your dreams.
Oh, did we get his shit? Oh, good.
Yeah, we get all this treasure.
Yeah, you get all his
Oh
treasure
my
and
God.
3
Super
permanent
rich.
corruption.
I will
Yeah.
never ever set foot into a wood again. Ever. Ever. I will marry the nicest guy in the city I come from. The most handsome guy. And I will never
course.
ever touch a sword again.
Well,
Yeah.
if you marry the most handsome guy, then you might be touching his hand. All right. You know.
Oh.
Well, Bartolom will be looking to join a wizard's academy or some place to get schooled and advance in his craft without running into any dangers, other than turning himself into some kind of toad or
worse.
yeah.
Well, Arno's, of course, rich beyond his wildest dreams. The first thing that he does is, he returns to his daughter, and he offers his daughter and his former girlfriend this a rather substantial portion of his treasure, and they accept it, but they still want absolutely nothing to do with him. So, feeling rather dejected, he goes off with his money and proceeds to find all sorts of ways to spend it. Alcohol, dream snuff, hookers, everything you can possibly imagine. Various get-rich schemes, gambling, and it takes him quite a while to burn through that much money, but he's pretty determined. So soon enough, he's, laying around in the alley in Thistlehold, snorting away his last couple of war kegs of dream snuff, and leans his head back against the wall, or the grimy wall of the alleyway, and a smile comes over his face as he remembers these beautiful women dancing in the forest grove, and he kind of chuckles to himself and drifts off into a restless sleep.
But every now and then, in a full moon, you have this recurring nightmare of Ivan's face when he plunged on that crown and
Yeah.
sacrificed himself.
Well, she talked him into it.
Without realizing I was talking him into it, to be fair, but yeah.
Well, all of you have this dream, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Darn.
thanks to the permanent corruption. And that was it for tonight.
All right.
Okay.
Great, you just